One of the things I did to overcome the trouble that I had in school is make my LD a good thing towards how the kids view it. I get to go out of the classroom and take my test outside the classroom by myself where it's completely quiet. And when kids see me go out, they're like, "Where are you going?" And I'm going to take my test. I have dyslexia. I get to go take it outside where it's quiet. And the kids are like, "Oh, I wish I had dyslexia."
I definitely realize that, it's okay if people are going to make fun of you for anything. It's not just people with LD, I found friends that, didn't care that I couldn't spell, I read the best in class, but liked me for me. And I definitely am happy that I had that filter of LD to sort of figure out which friends were the ones that were going to stick with me for the rest of my life, rather than the ones that sort of just, you're not really going to have associate with later.
I don't exactly tell everyone, all of my friends, but a few of my friends do know. Like my best friends, they know, but it's not really a problem.
Be open about it. Tell them that, dyslexia, it affects me while I read. It's no big deal. And I'm sure the kids they'd be open to it. That's what I'm trying to say.
My advice to other children with LD would be not try to be the popular kid in school, but be happy and comfortable with who you are. Don't try to change yourself to make friends, but just find friends that relate to you well, and you have other things and interests with, and that will love you and encourage you for who you are.
Get in some sort of group or some sort of organization or something with your church or whatever you like to do. Find other people in that group and see if they're comfortable. If you're comfortable first with letting them know first, and then see if they're cool with it, then they're cool with it. If they're not, there's always a whole bunch of people in the world to make friends with.
Making fun of them sounds like a theme. Well, don't make fun of people. Take time to do your research, and trust me, it will make you come kinder. That's how I did my podcast, and from that day on, it's made me become a better person. Like always, let the kids that understand you, bring them into your world. There's always a bright spot to kids. Like all places, associate people with the right people who try to understand what's going on in other people's world. Because guess what? Every person has something going on in their world. Kosi Waltz says that he had a helper like you may see the elementary. They have helpers. He says the other kids have helpers. He says it's not a problem. The other kids that have learning disabilities also ask for help. It's always best to ask for help, so maybe the kids follow along and ask for help. I'm sure she doesn't mind helping other people. One way of doing something is when you're taking a test, tell them what it is. Tell them how it is. Tell them why you take the test there. Because then they'll realize they get a quiet room for a reason. And just test them when they're making fun of you. It actually works out. But if they're mean enough and if they deserve to be told on, you'll tell on them. That's what you do. And if they're mean, don't talk to them. Ignore them. I know that's hard to do, but that's what I would do. And looking back at it, that's what I do when people are mean to me. And if they don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And if you don't feel comfortable talking with somebody, don't talk with them. Be open about things. I tend to agree with more what Ross has said in this thing. Be open. And if they judge you, they judge you. A person judges you no matter what, good or bad. Always tries to be the positive one and look towards the bright spot. Corsi Walt says, do it in a positive way. Try to help the way you want. I have plenty of disabilities, and that's why I do this podcast. It teaches me to treat people the right way. The Royals lose 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox, losing today 5-4. Tried to come back 4-1, but they didn't convert in the 7th inning with 3-0 counts. Miguel Garcia, Nick Lofton will get out as he pinch hit. He's just hitting 194, and Miguel Garcia, but he struck out, and that ended the Royals' threat in the 7th, which ended up losing the game. The Red Sox win the series 2-1 again. Take 3 out of 4 from the Cardinals. The Cubs finish off the break 47-51. The Cardinals finish off the break 50-46, but have lost 4 of their last 5. The Royals finish off the break at 52-45. Tonight is the Home Run Derby. It'll be Body Whitt Junior representing the Royals. Body Whitt Junior has had a great start to his career. He's the best Royal I've ever seen play, and barring injury, I don't see why he won't be up in the rafters. His number retired. He's the most acrobatic baseball player. He can hit the ball. Body Whitt Jr. leads the league in average among shortstops. He has 16 home runs, but if he gets on a roll, he can hit a lot. And as I said, if he gets going, he can hit a lot. He wouldn't be my player pick of the Home Run Derby, but he might do it. The other candidates in the Home Run Derby are Pete Alonso, first baseman, Mets; Alec Boehm, third baseman for the Phillies; Adolis Garcia, right fielder for the Texas Rangers. Gunnar Henderson and Body Whitt Jr. are the 2 of the best shortstops in the game, and they are participants. Jose Ramirez, who's a third baseman for the Guardians. Gunnar Henderson is third in the league in home runs, but he leads the group. There are theories that the Home Run Derby you can lose your swing, but that's not always true. And Jeff Passan said that on 8-10 that he thinks that it doesn't really screw up your swing. That's just a theory. It is Body Whitt Jr. versus Gunnar Henderson. They talk about that now. Here. Body Whitt Jr., is he going to be the player of the week in the All-Star game, or is he going to be something else? I think it'll be good. I don't think he'll get 2 hits. I'm not sure he's going to win the Home Run Derby, but some people think differently. Here's more on who will be the All-Star for the Royals in the All-Star game. There's 4 of them. This year, the most in a long time. That's Royals.
In the first segment, let's go to question number 2. We'll stick with the Royals. Which Royal of the 4, Reagans, Lugo, Body Whitt, and Salvador Perez, will have the best All-Star week? We know Bob is in the Home Run Derby. We'll include the game in this one as well. Bethany, you kick us off here. Look into your crystal ball. Who has the best All-Star weekend of all the Royals that were representing KC?
I really wanted to go with Seth Lugo. He's been phenomenal this season, but baseball players are weird if they're kind of put into that position where you're a starter and you're coming in middle of the game and vice versa. They get a little bit off sometimes. So I'm going to pick Body Whitt Jr., the hometown kid, grew up just 30 minutes north of where this MLB All-Star game will be played. I know it's just his first All-Star game, but you look at what he's been able to do in his short career. I mean, sometimes we forget he's just 24 years old, and the moment has never been too big for him, and so I think he's really going to take advantage of this awesome opportunity that he has and really capitalize on it.
The numbers through his first 400 games are absolutely outstanding, and he's the easy choice here. Right? He's going to be on a platter, a silver platter here for MLB fans. Drew, what do you think? Can Salvador Perez maybe win All-Star Game MVP in his 9th appearance in the Midsummer Classic?
I think Salvi can, but I'm going to agree with Bethany. I'm going to say Body Whitt Junior, and I think the reason why is actually the home run derby. He has more to gain because of him playing in the game, also being in the derby, going against Gunnar Henderson, fellow shortstop. I mean, it can almost be one of those things you say who's the best shortstop in the game from this opportunity that Bobby has, and him being so close to home. I think he's going to show out for the home crowd, and I mean, he's got an opportunity to, I think, showcase his name, not just for, you know, people in Kansas City. We already know how good he is, but for the entire everybody who's a fan of Major League Baseball is going to know who Body Whitt Jr. really is and the guy that we know so well here in Kansas City.
34 first-time All-Stars in this game. Body Whitt Jr. could kind of have a crowning moment here, Jason. If this is the weekend for him to break through, to go from a household name here in KC to go to a household name across the country, is this how he gets it done? A big performance in All-Star Weekend, in your opinion?
I certainly think he can. I mean, I'm going to go with the clean sweep. I think it's Bobby as well. And I think because of what Bethany was talking about and certainly what Drew was talking about in being in the home run derby, that's huge because he's going to have that spotlight tomorrow night. And by having that spotlight, I think people are going to see not just his ability to hit home runs, but the power that he has, the power that he generates. I mean, he's hitting them 450, 460, and he's going to have a couple of those home runs that's going to surprise some people with the power. So I think that's going to get some eyebrows raised a little bit. And then playing in the actual All-Star game. This is an opportunity for Bobby Whitt to place himself among the top of players in all of baseball to the casual fans. I think the diehards, some of those that cover baseball, look at it and go, Bobby Witt's one of the best players in baseball already. Casual fans may look at it and go, well, you got Aaron Judge, you got Juan Soto, you got some of these other names. People still talking about Fernando Tatis from a couple of years ago. Bobby Witt's right there, and what he's done so far this year, and it's the argument of whether it's him or Gunnar Henderson, that's fine. I think finally casual fans will get an opportunity to see what we see on a constant basis, consistent basis here in Kansas City, and that's how special Bobby Witt is. And so I think this is a huge weekend for him. We know how great Salvi is. We don't even know if Seth Lugo or Cole Reagans will pitch in the game. This is an opportunity for Bobby Witt to place himself atop of the game as one of the best in baseball.
That's CM on Sports.